Hey guys, don't worry, I didn't forget about you. Just today ended up being a bit more busy than I was anticipating, and yeah, but I'm here now. I'm here now, and I don't really have a, I don't really have a lighthearted intro to the conversation or anything like that. Heck, I don't even really know what the conversation is going to be about. Originally, it was going to be about dilemmas, and I might save that for next week because I do think it's an interesting uh, conversation. But before we do that, before we do that, um, I don't know. Um, I'm currently dealing with some stuff, so this might just be sad boy ramble. Sad boy ramble for 40 minutes, and you guys see. We'll see. I don't necessarily like it to be that, but I don't know. I'd say that currently there's a huge problem in not only America, not only uh, you know, not only America, but many other countries as well, with loneliness. Currently, people feel really lonely, you know, for one reason or another. They don't feel like they're being seen by people anymore. You know? And there's many reasons for that. But it's not necessarily easy to combat, you know, and it's not fun to really talk about because it's just we're all kind of miserable at this point, and we're all aware of it, and we're just aware of it. You know, it's just what it is. You know, there's not much more that we can really do about it, and so we don't really do a whole lot else about it. And it's weird because we live in this, you know, time of you know, accessibility, where talking to people and seeing people is easier than it's ever been before, but we don't really see them. We don't really see them. And I don't mean that in like in some kind of nuanced, like, oh, we're not seeing the real them anymore. It's just like whenever you're looking at a image of a person, that's just it. You're looking at an image of a person. You're not looking at the real them. From, you know, psychological, oh, this is means so much about the truth of humankind or whatever. It's a reality where, hey, that's not a human being. That is an image of a human being, but it's not a human being. And it sucks. We're not really designed for it, you know. And I feel like this idea that, you know, since we're so accessible, it's trained us to be really bad at it. You know, whenever I don't know if this is an actually good example, but I'll use it anyway. Whenever you suck at something, whenever you suck at something really, really badly, you know, you tend to try really hard at it, right? You tend to pull out all the stops. You know, it's an event, right? It's an event. It's special. It's important to you, right? Because it doesn't happen a lot, and you're not very good at it, right? Say your birthday, great example. your birthday. You know, and some people don't really celebrate their birthday a whole lot. I have a friend who's kind of so-so on celebrating his birthday. But that being said, it's still a special date for a lot of people. And it makes sense. That's the day that you were born. You know, there's only one day in the year that you were born, and it is kind of cool to just have days where you're just unabashedly happy. You know, makes sense. But the idea that, like, every day is your birthday, it gets tiring. You know, eventually you just get to this point where it doesn't feel like your birthday is ever. Because every day is always your birthday. And so you don't really feel like you have to do anything special. Because you don't. Every day is your birthday. You'll be special no matter what. You'll win either way. And so you don't try. And now, I don't want to say people don't try. Maybe they just don't try as hard as they used to. Maybe it's just that we see that there's more people that we don't know now. I don't know. I do know that currently people are sad. They're sad and they're scared and they're alone. And they should be. Well, they shouldn't be alone. But for many reasons they should be scared. For many reasons. But, I was talking to a friend today, at work, and he's a good guy, and me and him were actually talking about My Little Pony. Now, for those who don't know, way back in the day, I watched My Little Pony. I was going through some things, and My Little Pony was a big. I remember it specifically. I had this little setup where I would go in my closet. Ironic, I know. I'd go in my closet, and then I had my iPad that had Netflix on it. It wasn't an iPad. It was a Toshiba laptop. I would have that in the closet, and then I had a whole box of Welch's fruit snacks, and then Nature Valley bars, which is basically just candy and more candy, right? I just had basically, functionally, a bunch of candy, right? And so I would just watch My Little Pony on repeat, and in hindsight, it was a very, very bad thing. It was like mushifying my brains. But whenever I was going through all that crap, whenever I was going through, you know, my parents getting divorced and things like that, it just felt nice. It was escapism, 1000%, and it probably wasn't really the. It probably wasn't really the healthiest, but still, it was nice for a while. But in hindsight, whenever I was talking to him about it and telling him that story that I just told you, where I was in the closet and I was watching it, I mean, I genuinely was watching them multiple, like, I watched those first, like, 4 seasons, probably, like, 8 times. You know, I really like that show. I tell you what, I really like that show. And whenever I thought about it, you know, I haven't thought about My Little Pony in a while. It's something that I'm not exactly the most proud of. I mean, there for a while, whenever you said you were a brony, that was like that was worse than saying you were gay. Right, you might as well have said that you were gay at that point, because that had less social implications. Then at least you were just gay. You know, you just like men. But if you watched My Little Pony, that means you You were gay and you liked little girl cartoons. That was no sir. And so I don't think about it very often. But today I indulged and I talked about it because it is an interesting thing to think about. You know, generally. It is like the mindset, the mentality, this cult-like following that this kids show got. It's really interesting. But whenever I reflected on it, whenever I thought about it, I realized something. I realized that, like, for those who do not know, My Little Pony was a show that ran from one year to another. I don't remember what, but its main like core theme was lessons on friendship. It's called My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, so I'd assume so. Basically, this main character named Twilight Sparkle. She was going around the world, or going around her town with her 6 good friends, or 5 good friends, I guess. Her 5 good friends, and they went around and you know, learned how to be good friends, how to be better friends. Where they all had their own issues, they all had their own endearing character traits, but still, at the end of the day, they were all there for each other. And I didn't really realize it. But I think I have severely internalized that. Because afterwards, I just assumed that, like, afterwards, all I wanted to have was a good friend group. I so badly just wanted to have friends. And it's not like it was, you know, just after I watched My Little Pony or anything like that. Before I watched My Little Pony, I still wanted to have friends. Of course. I'd assume most people want to have friends. But I never quite got that, you know, stereotypical suburban friendship experience because, well, it's just not how it ended up working out. Different, like, social statuses, and my house wasn't really the nice one on the block or the nice one out of everybody there. It was, you know, it was just a house. And so I never really had friends over. And you know, it's not something that, like, I was deeply upset by, but now that I think about it, whenever I was a kid, I never had a single sleepover at my house. I only ever went to other people's houses. I never really noticed that before. I had friends, but they just, honestly, they were more so people that I hung out with than friends. Not saying that they were, like, bad people or anything like that. They were just them. I was just me. Anyway, the reason why I brought up My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Can you believe? Apparently, the final episode came out. I'm scared to watch it because I don't want my YouTube channel to just be My Little Pony. Not my. Okay, I didn't mean it like that. But I mean, like, my For You. I don't want to just get only My Little Pony in my recommended for the next 5 years. Which would probably happen if I watched even, like, a single video on My Little Pony. I do not doubt that if I watched a single video on My Little Pony, that's all that that's all everything would be. That's just kind of how that show goes. That's a kind of cool rock doll. Um, but the reason why I brought it up is not because I like to talk about My Little Pony. Actually, it's because I thought about it, and all throughout my adult life and teenage life and stuff like that, I just wanted friends. I wanted them really badly, and I did everything that I thought I should do to get them. You know, constantly, my school career was just me desperately looking for friends. You know, one time, my best friend in like 6th grade, I had just moved to Ohio, and my standards were so low. The guy that I regarded as my best friend was a terrible person. If you want to know, like, everybody's a terrible person in middle school. I'm sure he's fine now, but this guy, I'm not gonna say his name because that's mean. But I had a crush on a girl. This is like the last time I ever really had like a crush on somebody. You know, those cute romantic feelings. And I don't know, we'll call her Britney Spears. I think that's, yeah. We'll call her Britney Spears. Britney Spears, I had a big old crush on. And so what my best friend did is my best friend asked her out. And then she said yes. And then I was just fine with it. And then they broke up and got back together, and then she moved. And then I still talk to him because I just wanted a friend. After that, we stopped. After that year, we kind of stopped talking, though. And the next year, I had a different group of people that I was hanging out with, you know. And the next year, I had a different group of people. But that final year, that group of people, was like, they were different. They were funny. They were interesting. They were cool to me. In reality, we were all just a bunch of nerds on stuff like that. And looking back, of course, I cringe, and we all cringe, where it's like, oh, we were losers. But it's fine. But going into that friendship, I so badly wanted to, you know, be their friend. I wanted this idea of friendship, you know. And it was overblown and ridiculous, without a doubt. But it was, you know, it was pure. And so I did everything that I thought I could to be their friend. Everything that I thought friends did. You know, sleepovers, hangouts, calling, whatever. And I hosted it. I didn't live close to them. About a 30-minute drive to each of them. Because, you know, Cleveland. That's just how it is in Cleveland. I lived about 30 minutes away from each of them. Because I didn't technically live in the school district. Was it perfect? No. But I was happy for a year. For 2019. And then 2020 happened. And then after 2020 happened, I went to a different school, and it was my own decision. And then it just, like, the friendships, they became so much different than what they started off as. I wanted to grow the friendships and make them into something that was more than what they had been. You know, where like, oh, currently people deal with the problem where why did he currently people deal with the problem that you know, you fall out of contact with people, especially in high school and stuff. It's a big problem. And so I thought, hey, if I do this, it will help them out. The Sentry Buster blew up the Sentry. It'll make it so that they get better at their communication skills, right? It'll improve. It'll help them improve, because currently I'm kind of doing all the heavy lifting and blah, 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 right? And so if I do this, then we'll get better. But they didn't. They didn't. Should they have? Maybe. Should I have thrust that onto them? I just know that whenever it was all said and done, I remember specifically, there was a after like final day of school, right? And like club activities and stuff like that. For the final day of that, you know, you have all the underclassmen who are like, I'm gonna miss you so much. Oh, I'm gonna miss you so much. It's not gonna be the same without you. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, stuff like that, and they're crying and the you know, and you're like, okay. I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, I plan on having this summertime get together. I've talked about this in the past, but it was a summertime get together, and I scheduled all of the things. You know, it was like once a month or once a week on a Thursday. We would hang out. We would meet in one area. We would hang out in that area, and then it was kind of the deal. You know, I invited 20 people, and only like only 4 people showed up consistently, but there was like a 5th straggler. That 5th person changed from day to day, or week to week, I guess. And most people didn't show up at all. Most people didn't even show up to one. Some of them showed up only to the first one, which is kind of to be expected. Some didn't show up at all. What do you think this is? Huh? Do you guys ever do that? Frick you if you do. Genuinely, understand, whenever I say this, frick you. You suck. You are a terrible friend. Because it doesn't matter what you say, it matters what you do. Okay? I don't care if you say you miss me, if you freaking never call, never text, never do anything, you don't miss me. Okay? You can think that you miss me, but obviously you don't miss me enough to be better than who you are. I gave my all to being friends. I thought that is what would make me happy, and I was foolish for thinking that. I needed to be happy with myself, and I don't think I truly was. But God, were they terrible friends. Even now. Even now. I had, that one, Discord video, there's a shot in it that I really want to get, where it's me driving by a big body of water. And I think I'm going to go by this, the Lake Erie. Lake Erie. Okay, it's Lake Erie. It's not like it's some small little rinky-dink, like, I don't know, what, water reservoir or anything like that. No, it's Lake Erie. The only lake or real world place that, of my knowledge, that was referenced by name in a Dr. Seuss book, which is still very funny. Things are bad. Boy, do they look dreary. I hear they look just as bad up in Lake Erie. And they had to take it out because Lake Erie was like, hey, we're trying to be better. Whatever. And I was gonna give some messages to some other people that they have. They're good friends. They're good people, I should say. These guys, I mean, they're some of the funniest, smartest, kindest people I've ever met. And after I figured, you know, I put some thought into it, and yeah, I might be lonely right now, and it's kind of jading me, right? Where I'm like, oh well, they're not right here right now, and it sucks. I can't believe it. Can you believe it? They're in high school. They're having fun, and while I definitely do not want to be the guy that's chasing after high schoolers, you know, it's fine for them to be themselves. That's okay, right? And I can, because I'll be here after high school, but high school is a very short, temporary amount of time, right? It's an experience within itself. I know that Jay Schlatt would probably have an aneurysm if he ever heard me say that. But it is. It's not just an education. It's a time to be friends. It's a time to grow. It's a time to learn, to try new things, to meet new people, to have experiences. That is also what high school is. It is, of course, a way to set yourself up for the future, of course. But that's not to say that it doesn't also work very well at giving you experiences. Because it definitely does. That medic is a bot. That medic feels like it's a bot. That's a bot freaking name. Yeah, that's a bot. But the rule that I gave them is like at the end of last year. No, at the end of last summer, I told them all, hey guys, I am 100% down to still hang out and still get together. My one rule is that you have to initiate it. You have to do it, right? You have to start it. And then from there, I'll you know, we'll 50-50 it, or maybe I'll do all of it. But still, you know, to have that, you understand exactly how difficult it is, it's important to me, you know? I've been somebody that's has a high importance on not being a hypocrite, right? Where having, you know, the weight of what you're saying be behind you and stuff like that. I believe very heavily in that stuff. I think highly of it, because it's easy to say one thing and difficult to do another. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate it whenever somebody acknowledges it as well, right? And they're like, okay, all right. And this was like August of 2023. And then time went by, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't. But they had things going on, you know, life, high school, as I just said, it's an experience, right? That's fine. And then summer came to an end, or not summer, and then their school year came to an end. And when the school year came to an end, you know, they were telling me, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I've been missing you guys so much, you and the other seniors. You know, we really need to hang out more. We need to call. We need to talk. You know, we need to do stuff over summer. I'm like, okay. And so for the weekend of the Memorial Day, I went and oh, frick. I did not uh-oh. Yeah. I had a watch party. And it was of Evangelion, because of course it was. But we watched it. Most of them fell asleep during the watch party or went home. But, you know, Evangelion's a long show. Whatever. And at the end of it, whenever everybody was awake and, you know, we're done, they said, I told them again. I told them to their face. You need to schedule things. You have to schedule things, and once you schedule them, I will get them all you have to do is schedule one thing, and then I'll invite you to stuff. Then I'll plan things. Then I'll schedule things. Just one thing. And then I'll schedule any of you schedule anything. I said, okay, yeah. 1,000 different ideas. So much fun hanging out with you. Whatever. And then they didn't. If you can believe that. Can you believe that? They didn't actually get better when they said they would. I can't believe it. Unforgivable. I have this entire thing written out for them. And in all honesty, I was going to tell them to their face. I was going to tell them this thing that I made, you know. But it was going to be after the get-together tomorrow. Get-together, quote-unquote. It was going to be after we went to the video. Went to do the video. And so I messaged them. I'm like, hey guys, I know it's a little bit last minute, but is anybody available to do a video in the morning? Or, yeah, tomorrow morning sometime. And then I heard nothing. Nothing. They didn't even freaking respond. Couldn't be bothered. Originally, it was so funny. Originally, I was thinking about yesterday. Yesterday was such a beautiful day. And I messaged some of my friends, and they were busy. And then I was gonna message these friends, and I'm like, no, because they haven't freaking done anything. I just needed them to schedule one thing, and then I could spend the perfect day with them. One thing, and they didn't. And I'm not gonna reward them for being lazy. I'm not gonna reward them for that. Even, I will kill myself and make myself miserable just so that I have more honor and dignity. Even if honor and dignity is only self-perceived. I don't care. What do you have for me? This is my world. I was fuming this morning. I was livid. I've been so mad for so long. I'm pissed. it doesn't really. I'm not like "Urgh" right now, but like, I'm just so mad at them. I've been so mad for so long because I get it, but don't freaking say that you're gonna be better and then just stay the same. Oh yeah, this is it. We're gonna be better. I'm gonna improve. No, you're not. You're gonna lie to me. You're gonna lie to me in my face. Whenever you lie to yourself, that's one thing because the person that's punishing. Whenever you say, "Oh, I'm gonna start going to the gym. I'm gonna blah blah blah," okay, but you have no idea. I am so. They're all I had. Truly. Anyway.